Hello, my name is Artyom. I'm an IT journalist, content producer, and the host in awclub. This is a global community where IT professionals help each other with work, education, relocation, and volunteering. Today we will talk about the potential of AI to transform businesses in the upcoming years, how AI is already impacting different industries, and how the trend will continue to grow in the future. What companies should do to prepare for the AI revolution and capitalize on the opportunities it presents. And my guest today is Burak Sezer, Head of Business Strategy and Operations in Central Europe at Meta. Burak is strategist, investor, and operational leader with a deep understanding of the tech sector. So, let's begin. First of all, to warm up, maybe you want to tell us your story about your career and your personal experience.
Sure. I started my career back in 2008 at a strategy consulting company, McKinsey. I did that for about 3 years. I initially wanted to be an investor when I started college, so I studied business and finance. So after the 3 years McKinsey experience, I moved to a private equity firm, and I did that for a long time. I did private equity for about 11 years, buying and selling companies, improving them, running them. And towards the later part of my private equity career, I was mainly doing tech investment, looking into tech companies. So when this Meta opportunity came along, that's how I basically switched from an investing role into a internal strategy role at Meta. And that's currently what I'm doing. I'm serving as the head of business strategy and operations function for Central Europe region at Meta.
Okay. And why AI? Why is it interesting topic for you?
It's a personal fascination of mine. It's been something that I had expected to have a lot of progress throughout, like early 2000s, but it didn't happen. And then at one point, like all of a sudden, this image recognition things came up, and then the autonomous cars started popping up. And then it like exploded in a very short amount of time. In a few years, it went from a very limited set of applications to a lot of different use cases, both in business and elsewhere. So that's something that I've been waiting to see for a long time. And people have been waiting to see that a lot longer than that. There was this expectation in the early 80s, 90s that it would happen very soon. And it didn't happen for a long time either. So when it actually did happen, it was a fascinating development for me. So I've personally dived into it.
How do you define AI, and how is it already impacting the way business operates?
AI, the way I define it is the development of computer systems that can perform tasks that would typically require human level intelligence. These are like recognizing speech, making decisions, solving problems. These AI systems are designed to learn from data and experience, so improving their performance over time by themselves without being explicitly programmed for each and every new task. That's how I define it. And as a response to the second part of your question, how it is already impacting the businesses, the way businesses operate, I think there are many different ways it is impacting the way businesses operate. It's increasing efficiency through automation, which is the thing that we are seeing a lot about AI and talked about a lot. It is enabling better decisions through analyzing large amounts of data. And it is providing companies with enhanced customer service. It is used in internal operations in many different ways, like managing your supply chain, managing your finances, and in many, many other applications. And this, I think, will be the topic of today's conversation, right?
Yeah. So maybe we'll deep dive in AI for automation. What do you think about it?
Sure. In terms of automation, I think we are seeing a lot of different use cases, and I can touch on a couple of them. AI is today really transforming the way businesses automate all their processes. And automation is not something that's been in our lives for a long, long, long time. trying to replace humans with more efficient, more reliable machines has been a long time trend now. But what AI brings into this is that these AI-enabled automation tools are able to identify patterns in data sets and automate processes that are much larger than humans would have been able to do in the past. A couple of examples are these AI chatbots, for example, that you see. These are like the computer programs designed to simulate conversations with humans through text. And they can be used to provide customer service, answer questions, provide recommendations. I'm sure you have interacted with AI chatbots a lot when you are reaching your bank or when you are trying to return a product through your favorite e-commerce website. It's difficult to navigate internet without coming across these things these days. Another one that I'm seeing commonly used are the voice recognition tools. These are also AI-based computer programs that do voice recognition. They are used in customer service. They are used in voice-enabled search and navigation when you are talking to your GPS unit, so that you can like instruct it to show you the map to somewhere without actually touching it or without taking your eyes off of the road. You can use your home automation systems. Think about Amazon's Alexa. You can say things like, Alexa, turn up the voice, turn down the volume, heat the place, turn on or off the lights. All of this is enabled by AI-based voice recognition tools. An interesting example that I recently came across is people started to use these things to detect and analyze customers' sentiment when you are having a conversation with a customer. So if they are angry, it tells you. If they are anxious, it tells you. And you can tailor the conversation that you are having with your customer based on the signal that the AI tool is providing to you, which I found fascinating.
Emotional recognition,
Pretty much.
It's fascinating.
Another big use case that I'm seeing is RPA, robotic process automation. These things automate manual, repetitive, time-consuming tasks that's previously been done by humans. Think of like copying and pasting data from one system to another system in your computer, or like document processing. These things, if they are repetitive, AI algorithms, when they are trained well, are able to do them with a lot higher accuracy, a lot faster than humans can do. And this is also generating a huge amount of efficiencies in organizations that do this kind of data entry, document processing work a lot. And the last one I think I want to touch on in terms of automation is, some people don't think about that as automation, but I think autonomous mobility is in a way automation. People are talking about Tesla a lot these days because of its famous founder and what he does with different companies. And it's I think the leading company in autonomous cars. But autonomous mobility is not only autonomous cars. It's autonomous taxis, ride-hailing services, autonomous delivery that's happening these days, autonomous logistics, autonomous trucks, autonomous buses. There are very interesting companies around the world working in autonomous delivery truck, and some e-commerce firms already started using them, both to optimize the routes, save from human labor, and provide more reliable service. So I think we will see a lot of developments in the autonomous mobility side as a part of automating things as well.
Autonomous mobility looks like a most futuristic thing in all of this.
Isn't it interesting that it's already here today and those cars are driving themselves?
So, one thing I can see is voice recognition, chatbots, and everything is like about user experience. And a lot of automation is about to take out maybe some routine from us. But I think it's not everything about AI today. So what do you think about data analysis?
Yeah, that's another big use case that I'm seeing and happening really fast. These algorithms, because they can analyze data sets and identify trends and correlations that may otherwise be hidden to humans, they can help businesses make more informed decisions when they are developing their strategies and when they are implementing their operations. And there's a wide range of things that happen in terms of data analysis. There is this more generic, normal tools that we used to call BI tools in the past. Think of Tableau, for example. Those tools have incorporated AIs into themselves so that the all kind of business analysis now can be done with the assistance of AI tools. Also, there are more specific ones, like I was referring to supply chain analysis, for example, when we started to talk. Just give you an example, one area that supply chain management in terms of using AI is so deep. There is like demand forecasting tools that use AI. There are inventory management tools that use AI. There are delivery route optimization tools that use AI. There are supply chain visibility tools that show, like from the initial supplier up until your factory, what happens to your goods and like optimize it in real time. There's tools that optimize product distribution by taking into account where is higher demand, which part of the market is more competition, etc. There's ton of things going on in that one single space, and there are a lot of vertical niches that use AI for that analysis, similar to that. So it's also a very big area that's growing really fast.
The most popular topic, I think, about data analysis by AI is how it's used in marketing, about personal data analysis and what to customization of advertisement and everything.
It is indeed. And like marketers have really grabbed these tools because they are now so much integrated into our IT lives, and most marketing tends to happen online these days. So these marketers are really like fluent in speaking the language and understanding how these things operate. These are currently used to optimize marketing campaigns already by analyzing customer data, predicting customer behavior. These tools are used to do content optimization to show the right person, the right ad on the right channel. Think about like how to use your web channel versus mobile channel versus social media. These tools can now automate it. In the past, you needed to have segments of customers. So you needed to divide your customers into males, females, people with like young, middle age, old, etc., etc. And you will be able to maybe design 6, 10, 12 different things to target those customers. Now it can be done at an individual level by an algorithm, and it can be changed based on whether the same person is seeing it on a desktop screen versus a mobile screen versus within an app. I think it's fascinating what's happening on the marketing area as well.
Someone says it's fascinating, someone feels alarmed a little. I heard people always discuss ethics in this field.
Yes.
So, yeah. What do you think? How can companies balance between potential benefits of AI with the need to protect customer privacy and data security?
I think there's a lot of thought that needs to happen in that area. I think we have jumped into this AI revolution thing without really thinking about what all the implications will be. And I think technology develops in that way, generally speaking. As AI becomes more pervasive, there is a lot of ethical and legal concerns that are arising. Some of these tools, because of the data sets that are used to train them, can be quite biased. They can violate people's privacy. They can be not transparent. You can be using these tools to make a decision, and you wouldn't necessarily understand why the tool made a certain decision. And it really impacts transparency and the way the decisions are made. So I think we are at the very early stages of that right now, and I don't have a good answer how these things should be thought of. Some people are advocating regulation should be in here, so the government should step in. They should think about how to responsibly use AI and mandate the companies. And there are very well-known proponents of that in Silicon Valley, for example, which normally is kind of, I don't want to say against regulation, but they are wary of regulation under normal circumstances. But a lot of those people who are embedded in this sees the risks. Some of them have even described AI as the major risk that's facing humanity today, even about like nuclear weapons and such. So I think they have a point. I think there needs to be some regulation around this. It could be from governments, it could be from more like non-profit organizations that try to self-govern. The companies could also should also invest time and effort into that. But I think there's going to be a lot of thinking that needs to happen to make sure that we develop the policies and processes for like ensuring AI systems are used in a responsible and ethical manner. That's what I think.
Yeah, at least it should have a good intention.
Yeah.
We talked about AI could take out our routine work, but how about some creative activities that AI also automate?
That is very interesting to me. In the past, we used to think that all things could be automated except the creative activities, because we thought there's like something unique, something special about humans that enable them to generate creative work, like human emotions, human feelings, their ideas, dreaming, things like this. But it didn't turn out to be the case. When you look at what's happening, there is AI tools now that can generate music, that can generate video. And when you make experiments, like when you make humans listen to two different tracks, one generated by a human composer, one generated by an AI tool, they cannot tell which is which. And when you ask them which one you enjoyed more, there are many, many occasions where people liked the track that's generated by AI more than the track that's designed by a human composer. So I'm really perplexed about what this will bring in a way. When you think about the consumers, I think we're going to consume a lot better content, just very, very individualized, tailored to us. So you're going to say, hey, the AI tool, make me some tracks that go with my running this morning in the gym. And it's going to make the perfect track with the perfect beat, exactly following your preferences when you want to go faster, when you want to go slower. It'll be your personal DJ, basically. So in terms of consumers, that's amazing. In terms of people who are creating music, creating art to live, that will have, I think, some other implications. Sometimes they're going to be competing with AI tools. Think of the influencers or think of the marketers who produce video to promote products. If those videos are now can be produced by an AI tool, how much are you going to need the humans behind it? My personal opinion is we still will need it. Humans are creative in a different way than the AI tools. AI tools take in existing creations and basically like repurpose it, combine it in different ways to make it seem new to you. And I think the human creativity is a bit different than that. But I think that space will see a lot of change rapidly in the next few years.
Yeah. As a creative person myself, I see.
Actually, I should ask you, how is it impacting you? How are you seeing it in your industry? How is it happening for you?
Yeah, I see it as a great, great assistant for me. It helps me to search for new ideas. It's like a part of my mind. I could chat with it, I could speak with it, and it will give me any ideas that I will process in my head, and it will. So it's collaboration. It's great assistance.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
I like it.
Good to hear that you're not afraid or alarmed by it, but then you are seeing it positively.
Yeah, I'm not afraid, but a lot of people are afraid and angry about, say, about artists. AI learn on existing artworks. So when it recompiles something, people say, I'm an author. I should get paid for it. It's not AI. I'm an author.
Yeah, that happens. There's interesting debates around whether the content generated by AI is original and whether that should be like copyright protection for it, whether the text that you are getting from ChatGPT or Microsoft's bot, I think Sydney was the name, and people are arguing it created all that with the text that it read on my website. There is also a lot of debate happening there. It's going to be an interesting area to see and watch how the legal society thinks about this and whether they think there's actual like copyright, there's actual royalty that needs to be paid to the original artist, or you can consider what AI did as original work.
Yeah, speaking about legal society, what do you think? How can AI help us to?
Great segue.
Yeah,
You did a great segue there.
with all that legal work.
Yeah, it is really transforming that in an amazing way. I would not have expected it to be happening this fast. It's really happening right now. It's being used widely in that industry. The tools are currently much better in doing contract review and analysis. They are the ones that the algorithms that are trained to analyze contracts can go through thousands of documents to find relevant information, such as obligations, risks, clauses, how this was worded in previous documents, previous agreements, etc. So because they can go through much more documents than a human lawyer can do, and they remember everything with perfect accuracy, etc., they are now able to create much better first drafts when you are like preparing an agreement. There is a process called document discovery in the legal part of the world. When a litigation happens, sometimes one party gets a large chunk of documents from the other party, and the lawyers in the receiving party need to go through all that documents to like find the materials that are relevant to their argument, to the case, etc. And those documents can be in like thousands to tens of thousands range. And the document discovery AI tools can do a much better job, much faster than human lawyers in that area as well right now. And the last one I think is legal research. AI tools are now helping lawyers quickly find relevant case law, statutes, regulations, like significantly reducing the time and effort required for legal research as well. But the lawyers I'm speaking to are not afraid either, similar to you. They think that it's a great assistant. They think the work that would take them a week to do in the past can now be done in like a day or shorter. So most people I talk to are welcoming these developments.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Lawyers are dangerous people, so it's nice to hear that we are not angry on AI.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Could you give us your thoughts and predictions on future, how AI will be evolving, how it will change industries, what industries will be changed more, and which will be first?
There's some interesting studies that people did trying to quantify that. They looked into what a job entails in terms of the activities performed by the person doing the job. So they did time and motion studies, how much the person is physically moving, how much are they doing a mental activity, what are the individual chunks that are needed for the job to be get done. And it appears that there are some types of jobs that researchers think have lower probability of automation. And there's another set that the researchers think that has a higher probability of automation. The lower probability ones tends to be the things like medical practitioners, dental practitioners, psychologists, radiographers, occupational therapists, physical therapists. Medical field seems to be an area where researchers at least think that the probability of automation is lower. Also, teaching jobs like higher education, teaching professionals, senior professionals in educational establishments, secondary education people, those also generally ranked as professions with having a lower probability of being automated in the future. And there's interesting studies around that I can share you with some links after our talk.
Okay.
And there is another set of occupations that are ranked in terms of their potential to be automated to be much, much higher. Things like waitress and waitresses, things like shelf fillers, things like bar staff, things like assistants in kitchen catering, things like sewing machinists. Like more physical jobs that require less of a mental activity. As the technology develops, those robots can, with visual recognition, understand what the products are, and they can like grab them with like touch sensors and soft grip tools, and they can put them from one shelf to another. They can bring them from one location to another. I think those type of activities, as the researchers are predicting, are very ripe for automation. Retail jobs and jobs that require less mental activity.
And what do you think? What is the biggest challenges the companies will see on that way to automate everything?
The challenges will be, I think, in several different ways. First, they will need to develop an AI strategy. They need to understand what in their specific industry is going to happen due to AI, and they should develop a clear strategy for how they plan to implement AI in their business operations. This basically includes everything like specific use cases, understanding feasibility of implementing AI, how much it's going to cost and everything, and developing a plan for managing the risks and challenges around the actual implementation. I think they should invest in AI talent. The companies that once actually invest in recruiting and training the AI talent, including data scientists, including AI engineers, including machine learning experts, these will enable them to develop and implement AI solutions quickly and more efficiently than the others. So it'll provide them with an advantage. They need to identify what data they are going to use to train these AI tools. So they need to identify relevant data sources, because these things require large amounts of high quality data to work efficiently. So the companies should identify relevant data sources and develop strategies for collecting, storing, and managing all that data. And I think they should develop partnerships and collaborations around the use of AIs. Startups is one choice to do that. Academic institutions is another choice to do that. But they need to understand from these institutions the latest technology and research in the AI field, so that they could be at the front of the field rather than at the back, at the forefront of the field.
A lot of software developers are now watching this video, and I see they're asking, well, how about us? How do you think? AI and coding? Will programmers' work will be automated soon?
I don't think so. Certain parts of their jobs may get automated, but as you are and the lawyers that we were talking about are, I think they are going to be welcoming it. In terms of the developer community, programmers, I think there is going to be a lot of new opportunities. AI is creating a lot of new opportunities for the developers to work on these cutting edge technologies and these innovative projects. These tools to be developed, they require specialized skills such as like machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision. So it creates a lot of demand for programmers to learn and practice in these areas. So there's a lot of demand coming online due to AI. And a lot of the programmers I am talking to are generally complaining about the parts of the code writing process, such as like writing the code that they know how it's going to be, but actually like the time taken to write it down, they don't like that. Things like debugging, testing, code optimization, AI tools. And I think there's this co-pilot thing now most programmers are starting to experiment to help them code. These tools can take up the more repetitive, not so enjoyable part of the coding work and free up the developer's mind to focus on more complex, challenging, entertaining, and creative work, which also will lead to improved productivity and improved efficiency for the companies that are employing those programmers. So it's also, I think, positive in that way. I think the development process of software is also changing a bit due to the existence of AI now. The traditional software development processes may need to adapt to the use of AI. When you're programming in a deterministic way, you may not need a ton of data. You may not need an algorithm about how to train that data. Like you could think about writing an accounting software. You can just sit down and learn about what accounting is and what the main rules are, and you could write it over. Now, with AI tools, you need to prepare the data, you need to train the model, you need to evaluate the results, and you need to do it in a repetitive way. So this also requires new skills and new tools. And for the developers to develop a deeper understanding of the data science principle, I'm not saying they will need to become data science experts, but they will need to have a good understanding to be able to develop in this different way.
What do you think? Do we need more people to develop this, or do we need more experts? Say less people in general amount, but they all should be big experts in what we do.
The way I see it is we need both. Software is growing so fast. Pretty much every consumer product that we use today, compare this with like 50 years ago, they have chips in them, they have miniature computers in them, and they are running some sort of a code. And this trend seems not decelerating and accelerating in the opposite. So I think there will be general continued strong demand for all types of programmers as we go forward. As Mark Andreessen put it, like software is eating the world. It will continue to eat the world, and there will be the need for more programmers who will develop that software. And also, we will need more of the experts that can see how the industries will develop, what kind of software needs to be built, how kind of developers need to be employed, how they should be trained, how they should be incentivized to do this in an economically efficient way. So I believe all types of talent in this area will be needed a lot more going forward, not less.
You don't think that AI replace programmers in future? And I see your optimistic view of the future of AI.
I do. I think it's gonna take over some part of their work, the more repetitive part, the part that they don't enjoy. And it's kind of, as I touched on briefly, it's kind of happening today with the Copilot that people use when they are writing code. And programmers that I know at least are really enjoying it. But I don't think it's going to replace the process where they think what the new program should do, how should they structure it. So no, I don't think it's going to completely take over their jobs. Just the reverse, as I said, I think there will be more demand for programmers to develop AI tools.
So AI will not program itself.
I think we are very far from that space. The examples of AI that we talked about today, if you think about it, are very vertical, very like niche, very sector specific applications. They are what we call the narrow AI. I think we are nowhere near generating a sort of a more general AI that could program itself and do independent learning in different areas and synthesize that information to generate a coherent worldview. I have no signs of us getting close to that in anywhere I look. But we are getting really good at designing specific AI tools for specific applications. And I think that will happen more and more. Most software products in 10 years or so, I would estimate, will have some form of AI functionality embedded in them. And there will be the need for those developers to develop and embed that AI functionality into software.
Your opinion, what new job roles do you think will emerge as a result of this AI integration?
I'm playing a lot with this text-based AI tools like the ChatGPT and the similar ones. And it's really peculiar. Small differences in the way that you put in your query can result in big differences in the answer that you get from these tools. So I think there is both a science and an art into how to utilize these things in the future to generate the first draft of a contract or generate first draft of a movie script, whatever. And I think a profession needs to come into existence that, like, similar to we had search engine optimization people in the past. Remember, people used to do it like by humans, actually, like thinking about which keywords to put into the website, where should locate them, etc., etc. I think similar to that, there will be some people who are specializing in managing these AI tools, creating the prompts in such a way that it gives the most relevant information in the right way, in the right form. I think the first example that I have in mind would be that some sort of profession specialized in using these AI tools to enable more normal people to get effective solutions out of them.
Let's name it AI negotiator.
AI negotiator is a great name. If it sticks, you can claim credit for it.
Yeah, it will. It's recorded.
Yes, it is.
It's mine. I'm an author.
I'm a very, how should I say it? I'm a very optimistic person in that sense. I think it's been a long-running fear that the technologies that we are developing as society will replace job, and that will cause destruction. And it's not new, right? There was like things said on the same lines when book industry was moving to ebooks and digital, when music industry was moving to digital streaming from like physical cassettes and physical CDs. And it did happen. Those industries, employment in those specific industries got reduced. People for a temporary period, some people were jobless. But humans are so creative and they're so intelligent. Whenever these industry shifts happens, they do something to work on. They do their second thing. They do their third thing. They have varied interests. There's like a service industry, for example, grew a lot. We had a lot of influencers we didn't have before. We had coaches. We had a ton of like yoga teachers, whatever. So those industries have allowed humans to basically pick and choose what they can do with their talents and with their time. So I'm not afraid. In the long run, I think these tools and these technologies will cause some dislocation in certain segments of the economy, but new areas for humans to express themselves, to contribute to the world, will always open up. Humans have amazing ability to dream and imagine and try new things. I trust in their ability to find interesting things to do that other people find worth paying for.
Okay, maybe you want to discuss something that I forgot to ask. Do you have something?
No, I think it's been a really wide-ranging and interesting conversation. Thank you so much for having me on the talk today.
Thank you, Burak. It was a really great conversation. And let's go to the bright future of collaboration of us people and AI.
Exactly.
I think it will be great.
Have a great day.